Hello everyone, this is Mr. Molo with a review on factoring and foiling before the quiz tomorrow. So if you look at this worksheet, so it's split up pretty evenly with what we did. So the first day that we did foiling, we had just regular 2x2 equations like 1, 2, and 3. Second day we got a little bit more complicated and we had questions like 4, 5, and 6 that are the 3x2s. And then for the last 2 days we reviewed factoring. And you'll see here they're split up, so 7 and 8 both have plus plus signs, 9 and 10 both have a minus plus sign, and 11 and 12 both have a plus minus and then a minus minus. So that means it's going to have one of each. So I'm going to do question 1, question 4, and then kind of set up the last 6 for you. So remember, questions like 1, 2, and 3 is when we're going to make our Punnett square here. Okay, so I make my square. And so we know by the end of this, all my boxes should be filled in. So I'm going to do x at 5, x and 4, just like it says in the problem. So in this top left box, that's where the x and the x meet. And remember, x times x is just x squared. In this top right box, that's where the 4 and the x meet. So that's going to give us a 4x. This bottom left box, that's where the 5 and the x meet. So 5 times x is 5x. And in the bottom right box, it's where the 4 and the 5 meet, and 4 times 5 is 20. And remember, if you do this correctly, these diagonals should be able to be combined, and we did it right. X and x are both x's, they can be combined. So our final answer would be that x squared plus 4x plus 5x. That would give us a 9x, and then that 20 sitting there. So x squared plus 9x plus 20 would be our final answer. Okay, and then we look at a question like number 4. That pretty much is the same thing, except you'll see there's one big difference, is now I'm not going to do a 2x2 box. I'm going to do a 2x3 box, because that second equation has 3 things in it. So I'm going to do my x plus 2 over here, and then in this box I'm going to do x to the second power, 5x, and 1. So it's pretty much the same thing, except now I have 6 boxes instead of 4. And again, the reason for that is that this parenthesis has 3 things in it, not just 2. Otherwise here, x squared and x give me x to the third. So remember, we're adding our exponents there. So 1 plus 2 is 3. Here I have x and 5x. So that's going to be 5x squared. And the last box on the top, I have x and 1, which is just x or 1x. On the bottom, I have 2 times x squared. So it's going to be 2x squared. Bottom middle, I have 2 times 5x. So that's going to give me 10x. And then the last one, I have 2 times 1, and that's just going to be 2. And just like we did on number 1, if we did it right, we can combine our combine our diagonals, sorry. So I have x to the third power, that can't be combined with anything. Here I have 2x squared, so they can be combined. 2x squared and 5x squared makes 7x squared. And then this diagonal, I have x and 10x, let's just make 11x. And then that plus 2 just sitting there at the end. So that would be our final answer there. And then for these last couple ones, so questions like 7 and 8 should be set up with 2 plus signs, so x plus, and remember we're thinking of 2 numbers that multiply to 6 and add to 5. Questions like 9 and 10, when we set them up, should be minus minuses, so 2 numbers that multiply to 12 and then add to -7. So remember, these are plus plus because 2 positives multiply to a positive, and we add it to get a positive. Here, this is a minus plus problem, and minus minus in our parentheses because 2 numbers multiply, 2 negative numbers multiply to a positive number, and we can still add them to be a negative number. And 11 and 12, these are the trickiest ones. So this is going to be one of each. So x plus and x minus. That's the only way to get a negative number is to have one positive number and one negative number when you multiply. But the same rule basically applies. You are multiplying to that last number and adding to that middle number, or some of you like to think that you're subtracting to that middle number because one of them is negative. Either way of thinking about it is perfectly fine, just as long as it makes sense with the problem. And then remember, you can always go back and double check it by doing it just like question number 1. So all these 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 are going to be 2 parentheses. So if you get it and you wonder, oh, is that correct? Does that make sense? Then just make a Punnett square and see if you get that same answer. So here we got x squared plus 9x plus 20. And so, yep, 5 times 4 is 20. 5 plus 4 is 9. So I know that makes sense then.